right, hello and welcome to LC Model Shipbuilding for our next installment of rebuilding the SS United States. This video we start out for the first time in our new workshop. Got the 3D printer over here going. It's printing some parts for the Constitution build coming up in the near future. So anyway, this video we actually mainly will be covering the lifeboats and the fencing that goes along the boat deck. So when we're done, we're pretty much going to be at this point with the build. Still, you know, a little bit to go with it, and yeah, I mean, right now it's coming along pretty nicely. So without further ado, we'll get started, and thank you very much for watching. We're going to start off with some of the lifeboats here. I did the starboard side already, so you can kind of see how they turned out. These are 3D printed, again done by Eric Goggins. He did a real nice job with them. They look real good. And basically I'm going to show you what my technique is for this. They're very repetitive, but once you kind of get going, it's not too overly difficult. So we got our boats right here, and these are our port side. I already did pull a few of them and started a little bit of paint on them, so there they are. But how I'm doing this, and I know there's a couple different ways to kind of deal with 3D print and getting it off, but I'm just doing the simple candle method. So I'm going to heat up my little X-Acto knife here, get it pretty good and hot. And disclaimer for the kids, make sure you don't touch a hot surface, yada yada yada. You probably shouldn't be playing with fire, but you know, just in case you are, be careful and don't hurt yourself. So anyway, as you can see on the 3D print piece, there's a lot of little supporting sprues down in here. Not overly worried about them. They're not such a big deal to get off, but what we really have to worry about is cutting away the davits. So they have 4 points. There's one there, one there, one there, and one there. I've tried it both ways, leaving the davits on and taking the davits off. I like it a lot better with the davits on, so it's just easier to deal with when it comes time to glue them up and get them on. So that should be good and hot. Basically, just going to come along the back there, separate it from the wall, and yep, I broke that one. Pushed too hard. So that is one thing that can happen. You got to be kind of slow with this. Unfortunately, I pushed a little bit too hard. The knife might not have been quite hot enough. So I'll give it another run on the next boat up. Luckily, he also sent me extras, so I have plenty. So not really a big deal. All right, we're going to try this one. Okay, that one broke loose and did not break the davit, so that's good. I heat it back up again for a minute. Okay, we're going to try again with the next side. Okay, that came loose. Now we just got to get the 2 bottom supports. Okay, right along the bottom here. Perfect. And one more. All right. So now the main ones are broken loose. Going to take our nipper and just kind of break it loose down here at the bottom supports. And there we go. So that is now free. All we have to do is trim off this and hit it with a little bit of sandpaper, and we will be ready for paint. All right. And pretty much just like that, we have a 3D printed lifeboat and davit that is ready to go. So I'm going to work on getting these all painted up, and then we'll be back. Okay, we have our boats painted in the white and the red so far for the davits. I still got to paint the actual boat. They were an aluminum boat, so they're going to be a grayish silver aluminum color. Kind of strange configuration for boats on a cruise ship, or not a cruise ship, I'm sorry, an ocean liner. But that was another one of Gibbs's requirements, that there be nothing that is burnable on the ship, so they made them out of aluminum. I do know the real boats, the real lifeboats, were sold during one of the times that they were parting out the ship, unfortunately, so they no longer are on the ship in Philadelphia. But it has actually helped to get the fencing correct, because all of the lifeboats had fencing along them that kind of went in between the davits. So I will show that when we are actually installing the boats. But I'm just basically taking some silver paint here, well, aluminum paint, and running it right across. As much as I usually would probably airbrush stuff, there'd just be so much to taping these off, and it really wouldn't even be worth it for me to do that. So just basically a brush paint scenario, and they look fine. I mean, they really do once they're on, so not too worried about it. Again, the printing though, great job to Eric, because these really did turn out nice. They are much more detailed than the original boats that came with the Glencoe kit. So if you're building this kit, if you happen to have found one on eBay or whatever, kind of a word of caution. Like I said before, the boats are not detailed. I actually have one of the original kit boats right here. I think I showed it in one of the previous videos, but that was the original. So I mean, the comparison is night and day. So I know I'm definitely happy with them. So highly recommend getting a set detail or 3D printed from Eric if you're going to build this kit. The one other small thing to take into consideration when putting these on is the fact that the boats or the davits don't exactly line up with where they are in the kit. And I'll show you what I mean with that real quick. I'll show you how I addressed it too once we actually go to mounting the boats. But as you can see here, there's these, which the original kit would have had davits that kind of went right here, and they actually integrated. I can't even get it without, let me go the other angle here, actually integrated into it like that. So these boat davits are just a little bit longer than where the original placements were, which isn't a big deal, but we're going to end up cutting these off and basically sanding them down straight with a file. That's how I did the other side, and I mean, they came out fine, so no issue there. So I'll show that more once it comes time to actually mount them. All right, so I won't bore you with me just sitting here painting these boats, but yeah, once I get them painted up, then we'll go into installing and the modifications that we have to do to the ship for that to happen. So be back in a bit. Okay, as you can see, I got my lifeboats all painted up. They are ready to go. So what we're going to do now is start to get them glued down. But before we do that, as you can see, on the port side here, we have, I'm sorry, starboard side here, we have fencing that runs underneath the boat and then comes around underneath the davit. So Again, I'm just using some universal fencing. I don't know, this is Tom's Model Works, I believe. Yep, Tom's Model Works. And I know from the last one that I essentially need it to be about just shy of one beam, not beam, but fence section out. And then the length of the boat will come in at about 3 to 4, 3.5 right here. So boom. All right. And then bend here again. And I'm looking at the distance of how far the lifeboat davit is, which will bring us about 1.5 in. And I am eyeballing all this, so, you know, it's not going to be 100% perfect. I really don't need it to be 100% perfect because the boat sizes are slightly different than the original model anyhow, so it kind of just is what it is. Okay, here we go on that one. Then we're going to bend here. And again, about the same size. All right. The first time I tried to do this with the first set of railing, I did it with the boats already installed and then tried to fish it down underneath. That is not the way I would recommend doing this. It definitely was not easier by any stretch of the imagination. But this way seems to be working out pretty decently. At least the second half did. Okay. And we fold out there. And because I'm going to end up cutting, I'm only taking it to that length there. Need my little knife. There it is. All right, so there we go. That will get us our first set of boats ready to go. And the good thing is they both attach with CA glue, so I can use the same glue for the same glue pile for the same set of things that I am doing here. All right, now there it is. A little glob down there. So first thing we're going to do, that's our direction we need. I'm just going to run it through some glue in the pile here. Come on. All right. And put it on. Uh-oh, made an error. In the last segment, I talked about cutting these off, and I didn't do it. So I need to cut them off before I go into this. So I'm going to cut them off, and then we'll start gluing down. Be right back. Okay, we're back, and we'll try this again. So they're cut down, filed down, and they look pretty good now at this point. So now we're going to work on putting our fence right along our edges here. And then this will kind of determine where our lifeboat davits go. Okay. So just getting it straightened out and getting the glue to set for a minute here. Okay. And a little more here. Not much. Okay. Zoe. Sorry, my dog is barking while I get this set here. Okay. That is good now. So first we have a small cutter boat that goes up towards the front. Just going to dip that in some CA. And that will go right there. Alright, I'm going to pause it a minute and get her some kind of treat or something. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Now, I took off the the forward funnel. I realized that you can't really see too well there. So, got that taken off so you can actually see a little bit better in what I'm doing here. So, I'm just putting the boat on the edge and holding it still for a few seconds. Voila. And onward to the next one. Same scenario. Oh, I knocked a piece of fence off. That is for the staircase. It needs to go on there. It goes that way. And I have a set of stairs I need to add on there. So we're going to cut that out real quick and bend them up. Now, I know some people have really struggled with the steps in the past I've read. I don't know if this is the perfect ideal way to do it, but I'll show you what I do. I think I showed it on Lusitania as well. It works for me. It may not work for you. So here's our photo etch step. I just take my tweezer, I bend it up 90 right there. Make sure my railing is nice and straight. And then I do the same thing with the other side. And I put it right on the edge of the rail there. You gotta squeeze the tweezers tight, otherwise you're not gonna get a good bend. And I mean, they do make the tools out there to do this too. I know for 1/200 Titanic, I do have a tool and I will use more of, but for this one, we'll be okay. All right, then to actually do the step folds, I start at the top here, bend up, come back down into the second rung, bend up, come into the third rung, or I guess it's not rung, it'd be a tread, and so forth until I get to the bottom. Okay. And there we go. Now we have steps. I just need to kind of reshape that railing a little bit, but that only takes a second. There we go. I'll fix it a little bit more once it's glued on. Okay, touch of glue on the back and the top. And we just position it into place. Or we drop it. Okay. That didn't go how I wanted it. Let me get some new glue. Try that again. There we go. And just for good measure, I'll add a little drip of glue at the tip there. Yep. And there we go. That is on. So basically, I'm just going to kind of continue the process along here. I need to add a little glue on that and get all the lifeboats glued on. So I'll come back once we get that done, and we'll talk in a bit here. Okay, so we're down here in my new workshop. This is actually the first video that I've done down here. I did work on getting some of the front lifeboats on, so they're already installed and ready to go. I got these back here to go. I've been working on putting some people on, so I'm going to continue with that, and we'll come back here in just a second. After I get these people on, we'll put the fencing down on the last section, and then we'll get some lifeboats glued down, and that will probably just about wrap up this video. So be right back. Okay, so I'm going to put the railing on. Now, one thing that you can see with a little bit better lighting down in this workshop is a little bit of beveling going on here and here. That will be covered up by tennis courts, so you won't really see that as noticeable once I get them on. And the imperfections along the deck here obviously will be covered by the lifeboats, so I'm not too worried about it. It basically is what it is with this model. I mean, I'm doing basically the best I could with what kind of shape it was in. So anyway, we're going to put the fencing on first and let that sit for a minute. And sorry, you might hear the 3D printer going over on the side there. I have cannons printing for the USS Constitution once we start that. So that being the next project, I'm starting to build some of my plus-up pieces to get ready for it. And I'm getting pretty excited about that one. It'll be kind of cool to take a little bit of a break from the ocean liners, but it'll be a whole different type of build compared to this. Obviously it's a new kit, so I won't have all the imperfections going on that I'm dealing with on this, and it's a sailing ship, so I have not done a sail ship in several years. I did build this kit of the Constitution back when I was a kid, so probably 20 years ago, but it's been a while, and I'm looking forward to doing it. I'm gonna have a place up in my living room for it to reside once we're done, and yeah, just all in all, it's a good kit, good looking kit, so it will be fun to build. And then in the meantime, continuing to collect my parts for Titanic and get them ready. So that will be coming more soon, or sooner than later, I guess. Oops, I knocked the railing off. Alright, so one of my bends here was not perfect, and I'm going to have to take that railing back off a minute. So let me correct that and I'll be right back. Okay, went ahead, got the lifeboats on, so they are all on. I'm going to kind of wrap up this video because I basically just wanted to really cover the lifeboat aspect of it. For the next video, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be detailing out the outside of this building here that goes right there. We'll get our decals on for our tennis courts and racquetball courts and all that good stuff that are back through here. There's some roof details that will go on here as well, which I'm going to 3D print out. So I'll get them on. Then we got to build our cranes that will go here and here. And then up at the front, we'll have our cargo hatches right in here, and then our 2 cranes that come up here, and our bollards. So we'll get those on. And then we'll finish off with just doing some rigging. There's a little bit of rigging that comes up to the radar tower. There is 2 kind of U-shaped brackets that come off of the funnels that I got to build. So we'll get them built, and that will pretty much wrap up the rest of the build. So anyway, hope you're liking the videos, and thank you very much for watching. If you've made it this far, please make sure you give us a subscribe so we continue making the videos. So lots more to come in the future. Like I said though before, summertime is starting to get close. I'm working on painting a car right now in my spare time, so definitely haven't been putting as much time into this as I was there during the colder weather months, but again, definitely appreciate you watching, subscribing, and we'll see you next time.